What's up, guys? Welcome back to, what are we on again?
Roof Talk.
That's right, we're on Roof Talk. This is officially episode number 2.
2.
And we got a special guest, a good friend of all of ours, actually.
Yeah.
J Mac, a.k.a. the Real Estate Barber, a.k.a. what, Blessed Blaze,
Yep.
a.k.a. you got a lot of a.k.a.s going in there. But for the people, at home, well, welcome, first and foremost.
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
pleasure having you on.
It's an honor, man. A real big honor.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, we were excited. We were putting this podcast together, and we were talking amongst ourselves, like, who would be the most impactful person to bring on as like one of our first guests, and your name got tossed around
Yeah.
a couple times. So we're like, what, I'm gonna have J Mac. We'll see if he wants to come on first. We're still working out the bugs of the the podcast and stuff, but we thought you've done a couple of these, and we knew that you had a good story, and you got some exciting things happening right now.
Yes,
so we're
sir.
like,
Yeah.
it's fresh. I know some of this stuff. And we're like, hey, let's get him in here and let him talk about it. So, but for the people hearing your name for like the first time, how do you usually introduce yourself in like any type of setting? Like, what do you go by? Like,
All right. Well, when somebody asks me, they're like, hey, who are you? I'm like, I'm James Macklin, a.k.a. J Mac, a.k.a. the Real Estate Barber.
yep.
Yeah.
I see your lives. You're out there. You're
Got
always,
to, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. But today, I'm just we can kind of keep it laid back a little bit. I just want to ask you some questions about yourself, some of your backstory, and then obviously some of the stuff you got going on in business and in your life personally as well. So we're excited to hear your story. We know who you are, but for the people at home, we want, and there's some stuff we don't know. So, the people at home, we want to educate them on your space and kind of what you're doing. So.
Okay. So what's first question? Where I'm from?
Yeah. We'll go back to from when you were younger. Where did you grow up as a kid, and what was your hometown? Where'd you go to school?
Okay. So I'm originally from Homestown, Missouri. That's Homestown. Yes, it's exactly how it sounds. I grew up. It's a lot smaller now, but it was about 188 people. That was on the sign. Yeah,
That's about my hometown.
That's what the sign
That was on the
said.
sign. Said 188 people.
Doesn't even show up on the map anymore.
No, it definitely didn't show up on the map. Like, we was a blimp. And I always say it, but it's true. We had more dogs than people. So we talking about stray dogs. These are not pets. These are dogs we feed to keep them from eating us.
Yeah.
So listen, little Yodis out there. So I went to North Pemmican, which is a small 1A school in Wardale, Missouri. So if you're on I-55, you might pass a Wardale, which you could blink and pass that. That's basically where I'm from. And yeah, man. So I grew up in a 2-parent household, which is very rare in our generation. So raised up in the church. I'm a pastor. I'm a preacher's kid, so I am a PK. Shout out to all the PKs out there.
I forget that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Blessed Blaze all makes sense now.
Yeah.
So grew up in a small town. My mom was actually a beautician. She did a lot of things, but she was a beautician mainly, and then my dad did a lot of things. He was just a hard worker, laborer, but also had hustles. He, whatever you think you need to do. He's like fixing up houses, plumbing, electricity, cutting grass, everything. So yeah, that's what I grew up with. Had 2 siblings growing up in the house with me. So yeah, pretty cool, small living. Small town living.
I think a lot of us,
similar to all of us, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of us here on the podcast, we come from very small towns in like the Boot Heel of Missouri.
Yep.
Towns people don't even know exist. If you ask them, like, what?
Not at all. That's why I just say the Boo Hill.
Yeah,
And when they say
I'm
we're in the Boo Hill, and they be like, I'm from Kennedy or something. I'm like, oh, you from Kennedy? I'm from Homestown. They be like, what? You're from the smallest place in here. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned like your home life a little bit, and you mentioned your dad. And I kind of know some of the backstory, but how did you get into barbering? Was that something that you got introduced early on, or is that something that just kind of progressed over the course of your life?
Yeah, so I got introduced because my dad cut my hair. And he's very big on grooming. He did not play around. He cut my hair every single week, and if he didn't cut my hair, he lined me up.
Yeah.
And he did it every Sunday morning. So he'll wake up probably, I don't know what time he woke up. All I know is he cut the grass, cleaned the house, washed the dishes, had a cup of coffee, and cut his hair by the time I got up. By the time I got up, he was like, hey, get up. It's time to cut your hair. And I'm like, okay. All right. Wake me up. I'm half asleep, doing this rough, picking my hair out all hard because he's my dad, so he don't care about being rough. And he cut my hair, boom, send me back to the house. I'm like, all right, go get dressed for church. Yeah. So that's how I learned to like really be, I guess, a grooming professional.
Yeah. So he like instilled the importance of having a fresh, clean cut and
Yes.
staying clean and looking nice every day.
Definitely.
So I think that's something that you probably carried over into your career now. You're like, hey, I can make an impact here.
Oh, definitely.
Similar to how I was raised.
Exactly. Yep.
That's awesome. And so I know you also play ball, right? While you're at Pemscott, you said.
North Pemscott.
You played ball there, and then you went on beyond that. I know.
Yeah. So I played basketball and baseball. I was not. I could have been great at baseball.
I didn't know the baseball.
I just didn't know. I didn't know what baseball really was. I played a little bit in elementary, and I was athletic, so it was easy. And then I got to junior high. We was too small, so we didn't have a team. Right. I got to high school. We got the team back, and I actually had a good coach that taught me a lot about baseball. Shout out Alan Pierman. Shout out Chuck. White boy Chuck on TikTok and everywhere else. Shout out white boy Chuck. So my boy, Mr. Pierman, he was like, hey, you got to do this. He was teaching me about balks. I didn't know what a balk was. I didn't know about stealing bases. I didn't know any of that stuff. And then I learned. I was like, oh, this is fun. Then I got moved to position. I played so many positions in baseball. But basically, basketball was just my love anyway.
Yeah.
Love Kobe Bryant, love Michael Jordan. So I obviously, you can see the mindset that I grew up in and what it transpired to now. So, yeah, basketball was my bread and butter. So, all state and everything else underneath, except for All American.
So you played ball in college. And then when you got out of college, was barbering like the first thing you started doing, or did you go a different direction?
Yeah, so shout out to Gene Best, the legendary Gene Best. I played 1 year under Gene Best at Three Rivers Community College in Poplar Bluff. I actually played, when I played there, I got my hair cut by one of the barbers here in Cape Girardeau. So Henry McCoy, shout out Henry. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate on no barbers. Shout out my boy Henry. So he was one of the barbers there that was cutting my hair. And then I went to another old guy first. He was messing me up, pushing my line back. So I went to another guy, and then he was cutting good, but he was in the same dorm as Henry. Henry, the guy ended up leaving. Henry was still cutting hair. So I was like, bro, I'm just finding barbers, just trying my best to find barbers. Because I never had to find a barber. It was my first time away from my dad and a barber. So I ended up learning from I was getting my hair cut from other people, and then I ended up moving to a different school, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm in Kentucky. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who can cut hair. So I just started. I was like, man, I know how to line myself up. And then I started cutting my own hair, and once that happened, obviously other people was like, bro, you cut your own hair? Man, can you just buzz me? Can you just line me up? And I seen a guy from Texas. He's driving like a big truck. Man, he had rims on it. He had money. I was like, bro, what? I said, what's this dude doing? He's on the baseball team, right? Yeah. Cutting everybody on the baseball team. I was like, this dude is out here getting all the money. And that's all I could. I was like, it's 15, 16 dudes. He's cutting them every week. And even if he's charging $5, $10, man, you can't beat that. I couldn't get a regular job when you've been a college athlete. You can't have a regular job.
We went to the same school.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what time do you have for a job?
I played a year of baseball there. And he was on the ball team.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. And I think that's kind of where we met. Like, that was all 11?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yep.
So here we are 14 years later.
Yeah. That's a long time ago.
That's how small time stuff, small town stuff is. We all keep crossing paths over and over.
Over and over, man. And it's usually the ones that's trying to get to a bigger and better place. And if you keep crossing them and you keep crossing paths at different levels, you just earn more respect for them because you know how hard it is.
And then you just get to know each other, and you're in a smaller group circle together, and things just happen like they're supposed to. But we did have a question come through real quick before we head into our next segment here. It says, what's been your biggest business mistake, and what did you learn from it? Also, what has been your most rewarding experience as a business owner?
Dang.
That's a
good
deep
question.
He went deep. Shout out to the people on the live.
That was Heath White.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Heath, man.
Here we go.
Okay, so the first question
What's
is...
your biggest business mistake? We'll start with that one. What has been your biggest business mistake?
Biggest business mistake. What can I think of?
Those are tough questions.
That is a tough question.
We got hit with some of those.
You just have plenty of mistakes
second.
anyway, so it's hard to be like the biggest mistake. I'd say the biggest business mistake was probably be like not learning more about a certain topic if I'm going into it. Like I should do more deep dives in it, but I'm a type of person where I'm not afraid of a mistake. I'm afraid of not doing it.
Do you look at it as a mistake or a learning experience?
I look at it as learning, so I don't look at big mistakes.
So when you get like an opportunity, you're thinking about something, so you don't do a bunch of research. You kind of just head into it.
I do the research. I hear what somebody's telling me about it. I hear all the good things about it, and then I'm like, okay, I hear all the good things. I hear all the positive things. Let me see what's the worst that can happen. Right. I see the worst that can happen. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm jump right into it.
You ain't got nothing else.
Yeah. So my biggest any big business mistake is probably not getting in sooner. So I'll probably say with real estate, I didn't get into real estate sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude, I align with that.
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
I align with that so much. I've always had like the mentality, you know, I'm gonna try to do something, and I always say fail forward.
Yep.
So I'm like, if I get an idea and I'm passionate about it, obviously do a little research. Like,
Exactly.
don't just start doing crazy stuff.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But if there's something you're like, hey, I think I want to do that. I've always been the type that's like, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna figure it out along the way.
I'm gonna figure it out.
And then we're gonna fail, but always try to fail forward. So that's just like, you know, kind of my take on it. I've always been that kind of guy, and
Exactly.
you know, I know not everybody's like that. They're always kind of like, hey, I want to do this, but then 6 months later,
procrastinate.
you talk to them, like, hey, have you started? You know, you started cutting hair? Like, oh no, I'm just like looking at clippers still. It's like, hey man, you gotta start somewhere.
Man,
You
I
gotta
get
start
that
somewhere.
so much. People be like, man, I need to start. I want to start cutting hair. What should I do? I was like, cut the person that doesn't ever get a haircut, because
Yeah.
and cut them for free, because even if you cut the hair and do a bad job, it's better than what they already had.
Right.
Free cuts, I'd say,
Yeah.
is an
Free
awesome way to
haircut.
start.
And
that.
it's no pressure on you when it's a free haircut. It's a free haircut, and you tell them I'm new. So now they expect the worst. So if you do okay or you don't do as bad, now it's like, oh, it's actually good. And in your mind, you're like, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
So what was the other?
The second part of that is, you know, basically you said what you learned from it. You wish you would start sooner. But the second part is, what has been your most rewarding experience as a business owner?
My most rewarding experience is probably inspiring people, because I love inspiring and getting people motivated to actually do. Like we said, they take their time, they procrastinate. So I love to be in the person that being like, hey, I'll go out and just do stuff and then show you I'm doing it. While people know me, I vlog my life. I try my best to be like vlog as much as I can.
Yeah, I've been watching your story for a while.
Yeah,
I've been following you.
I do that because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, J-Mac just blew up.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, you about to see the worst of the worst every day. And then you're going to see a great day. And then even if I show you the worst of the worst, you're still going to see me in my car happy, jolly. Because I'm like, I mean, there ain't nothing I can do.
Well, because you knew, like, going into it, you're like, hey, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And if I fail, that's part of it.
That's part of it.
And it's just okay. You accept the failure. And you gotta, and that's hard to do in business, by the way. You take those, and it's little chinks in your armor, and you're like, hey, you gotta realize, like, hey, this is part of it.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
I want to fail at stuff. That way, I know I'm at least trying.
Yeah, you want to fail early. That's probably my biggest thing. You want to fail early before you start. You want to fail early and fail forward.
Fail forward. I love the fail forward.
Yeah,
thing.
you have to.
I don't know
fail
who
forward.
said that. I think it was like Gary Vee or one of
Yeah,
those
something
guys.
like that. Yep. And I heard Will Smith say it before, but I'm pretty sure they probably all read a book and got it from that
yeah,
book.
for sure.
Something like that.
So kind of speaking on failing forward, if you were if you failed at a haircut, but now you know you're getting better at it and people are starting to recognize that, at what point did you realize that cutting hair went from a side hustle to like a serious business?
Oh man, it's always been serious. It's only as serious as you take it.
Let's go.
It's only as serious as you take it. I don't wear this because I just feel like, oh, I need to wear this to look cool. No, I have to be respected as a businessman.
Yeah,
so you have to look like a businessman.
Yep.
When I was cutting hair at the shop, not the shop, when I was cutting hair at my apartment, out of my house, whatever I was cutting out of, it looked like a barbershop in the section I was cutting.
Yeah.
It didn't look like I had a chair and it's a kitchen chair and I got a towel on you and I got some toilet paper as an extra. Like, no, I went out, researched. What do all the barbers have? They have an apron. All right. They got gloves on. What's the gloves for? So you don't get hair splinters. Okay. Neck strip. What's the neck strip for? So everybody's neck don't touch the cape. So it stays sanitized. So all these things I did what I knew that I could do, and I started what I had.
Yep.
And then with the little money that I had, I was just like grabbing little stuff. I grabbed some small clippers, and then, you know, I love this analogy when nobody helps the person that's hitchhiking, has their thumb out. But but if you are pushing your car, everybody will jump out their car to help you push.
Yeah.
So in my situation, that's kind of what it was. I was cutting hair. My mom gave me some clippers for Christmas or some like from Walmart. I love you, Mom. From Walmart, and I'm cutting. I'm just like, dang, these things like. So I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
And then I end up, somebody gave me something for Christmas. Gave me some professional clippers, and it was night and day. I started cutting with them, and you can hear them cut. They're like, and then my clients, they was getting their hair cut, and they was like, dang, bro, you got some new clippers? I'm like, I do. You can tell. And they're like, yeah, man, these things feel good. They cutting through the hair, and yeah, so. Definitely take yourself serious.
Yeah.
And everything else you will start attracting people that take you serious. For
sure.
And then you just keep that rolling.
I think it's interesting in business. I've noticed, and we notice it in the roofing space a lot. You know, people are always willing to kind of help. You know, there's so much like free help out there. People want to share knowledge, and I think that's how, as humans, how we give value to each other.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, you know, I have some experience in this space, or hey, I see that you're doing this, and I want to, help that journey.
I wanna
I
help
think that's
push
like a
it a little
natural. We see all this bad stuff in the world. That's because what the media shows us, right? But
Exactly.
there's so many good things happening, in the world and even in our local community that we're just out, we're out here helping each other.
Exactly.
People do it every day, and people don't share that, share that side of it,
Yep.
And I think it's really important to bring to light like all the good stuff, that people do for
Yeah.
each other.
But I think it's kind of like the same, the same thing. When you see people, they record doing good deeds,
Yeah.
and then people are like, "Why do you have to record it?" It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Why do people have a video of somebody doing something bad and then it goes viral? Why do they have video of people
Yeah.
fighting? Why do they have video of chaos?
Yeah.
It's because they know it's gonna sell, it's gonna get views.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because it's almost you get criticized or almost demonized for sharing the good things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to do it anyway.
But I agree. So because I even watch some of those videos, you'll see like, and some of them I don't know if they're staged or not. It's
Yeah.
hard to always tell. But I see videos where people like giving homeless people money or stuff, and I have mixed feelings about some of that. It just depends on the intentions.
Exactly,
And it's
it's
hard to know
intention.
people's intentions at the time.
That's I think it's true, and that's where it gets blurred. The line gets blurred because people look at it as the intention instead of
Yeah.
what's going on, what's actually happening. You don't know what happened when the camera went off, but
For
you do
sure.
see a person giving to somebody else that's in need,
Yeah.
and if that's what you see, then usually that's pretty contagious.
Maybe you'll do that too.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
with people going to a McDonald's line. They pay for somebody's food, and they're like, "Pay for the next person,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they just pay it forward.
Yeah, pass it forward.
The person that stops it and is like, "I'm not going to pay the next person for it." They got something coming to them. Karma's going to come back around. Life is gonna.
Yeah.
They might drive out of McDonald's and get into a wreck, and they be like, "Ah, man." It's 'cause
That
you
might
stopped.
happen anyways. But you
Yeah,
should
it
still
might happen anyway,
You
but
should still do the good stuff
Yeah,
too.
you should have
Yeah.
just been doing the good and just expect good.
Oh, for sure, man. I agree.
So kind of going into, I guess, question 6 here. So outside of being a barber, you're also active in real estate.
Real Estate Barber.
How did you get
Shout out.
introduced into that world, and what drew your attention there, or what pulled you in? You know?
Okay.
Like what made you want to do real estate?
All right. Shout out Edge Realty. Got to shout out Edge Realty, the brokerage I'm underneath. So when I got, my backstory, I was one of those guys that sold weed when it was illegal. So I did that actually for, as Dave Chappelle say on Half Baked, I wasn't a drug dealer, I was a fundraiser. I was a fundraiser.
Now this is live, James.
This
This
is
can be used
facts.
against
I'm
you.
telling you, this is facts. Y'all gonna look up my case in that photo anyway. I was a fundraiser. I had to pay $752 every 2 weeks to Southeast Missouri State University. Shout out to SEMO. I am alumni now. So it worked. I ended up, getting into selling weed because I wasn't trying to be a big gangster. I was just like, people doing it anyway. I'm gonna just sell it to my friends. So I ended up getting in trouble for that. And then once I got in trouble, got on probation, the judge, shout out Judge Lewis, gave me probation and allowed me to still get my financial aid.
Yeah.
Which was a blessing because I was doing it because I didn't have financial aid. Why didn't I have financial aid? Because I was a basketball player that didn't care about school. So once second semester came, I didn't care about my grades. Basketball season's already over.
Yeah.
I don't even care. So then it led to me end up not being able to get funding for school once I moved to Cape.
Yeah.
So I had to do what I had to do to figure it out. And then once, because I had school on my mind, I was like, hey, I got to do this to go to school.
Yeah.
The only reason I got my financial aid and everything back is not because, oh, he felt sorry for me. No, my grades reflected that I actually was doing my work.
Yeah.
And I actually got out of financial probation or financial aid probation or academic probation, sorry. So once I got that back, I was like, all right, I'm on a straight and narrow. So once I was on a straight and narrow and I was working a job, I was like, man, I need to do something else that brings more money. So I started thinking about, so that's when I ended up getting into barbering because I was like, I was already cutting hair, started barbering, now I started selling shoes. And I was just trying to figure out all the different things. So once I started studying finances, I realized a lot of millionaires and billionaires, because that's what I like to study if I want to be that one day, all of them had one thing in common, real estate.
That's for sure.
They had a business. Regardless of what business they went into, they had some type of real estate. They had commercial real estate.
Quickest way to become a millionaire.
Quickest way.
Yeah.
So, so once I learned that, I was like, well, I'm a type of person. I'm cutting right to the chase. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do this and do this. No, real estate. All right, let me get into real estate. And then once I was cutting hair, I started talking to people about real estate, and then they was like, well, you should just get your license because you can learn while you earn, or earn while you learn. So I said, okay, well, that's a catchy phrase. I might as well put that in action.
Yeah.
So then I went out to get my real estate license, which was a long journey, but that's what pulled me in, and I seen the benefits of it and what it could do my like long term the
I
rest of my
remember.
life.
I remember seeing when you posted that you finally passed.
Bro.
You got your real estate license.
Oh my God.
I remember that. I think it was on Facebook or
God.
Instagram. I saw it on there. And I was
Yeah.
like, that was awesome. I remember that day. Did you pass it the first try, or didn't you try a couple times?
Huh.
I vaguely remember. But I thought like you gave it a couple tries, right?
You guys, I want everybody to guess how many times it took. You guess.
Let's say 4.
Okay.
There, 4?
4? You guess? Israel? 5? Good guesses. It took me 9 times.
Oh my goodness.
It took me
Hey,
9
but
times.
But you didn't give up.
I didn't, but this is the story.
That's
Not only did it take me 9 times, it took me 4 times. It took me 6 times the first time. I end up going past my threshold because they only give you a year to be able to pass the course and then pass the test.
Oh yeah.
I failed and did not get to that threshold. I had to start all the way over.
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
So regardless of what I was doing, I passed all the courses. I did the 24-hour course, the 48-hour course, and passed the exam to be able to take the test, to be qualified.
Yeah.
Failed, had to restart all over. Restarted, took me 3 more times.
Dang.
And on that, 9th time, I end up passing. But this is the real big thing. I failed by 1 point the last 6 times.
Oh my goodness.
So you can
Dang.
only imagine my mental as I was doing
Yeah.
it while driving to St. Louis to take
take
that
it,
test
yeah.
and paying $62.
You were like psyching yourself out before you got
Oh
there.
man, it was a lot. I cried like 2 or 3 times on the way front and back,
Yeah.
speaking to myself, talking to myself. I was missing class. I was in college at the same time. I was
Yeah.
my senior year in SEMO. So I literally was leaving class. I would go to my first class, get in there, stay in there for like 10 minutes, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's what we got going? All right, I'm leaving. And then drive to St. Louis. And then, I ain't gonna get into that, man. That teacher, boy. Yeah, I almost failed. I almost failed just because he was hating on me.
That's
leaving.
awesome though. Taking it 9 times, that's
9
crazy.
times, yeah.
But I mean, it just shows like, even if you fail, some people they'll try the first time, they'll go through all that stuff, they'll fail, and then they'll just hang it up, hang up the hat.
Persistence,
And
man.
it's like, hey, sometimes you're gonna. That's like kind of what we've been talking about already.
There's a lot of successful people. Andy Frisil, the first form. I mean, his story.
Love
I mean,
Andy.
if you go back and listen to his story, I mean, he failed several times before he made it. Now look at him.
Man.
You know, so
Well, but back when I was a nurse, I was a nurse first.
Yep.
I know I talked about that before, and
Crazy, man.
obviously in roofing. But when I was trying to graduate, I did great in high school. I did great in college. Nursing school was really challenging. That was my first challenge, really. Like high school was a breeze, dude. Straight
Yep.
like 4.0.
Man.
My first 2 years of college, I had a 4.0. I got in nursing school, and like when I went to exit, they make you take this exit exam. You get 4 shots at it.
Yep.
If you don't pass the 4th time, you have to go back and start again. I think it's
pressure.
just start that semester maybe over.
Yep.
So I took it the first time I barely failed.
Ooh.
And I remember I was poor. We were super poor at the time. I was working at Menards, and I was studying every single day. I took it the second time. I failed. I bombed it. I'm talking like not even anywhere close to passing. And so I kept studying. I went to my job at Menards. Like, hey, I quit. Like, I was like, hey, I'm trying to do this for
gotta
my
focus.
career. Like, this is just a college job. I love what you guys are doing. I got to study every single day. I didn't have the money to quit, but I
Yep.
was like, this is all I got.
Yep.
It's my only option.
Macon.
I studied every
ships.
day, and like
Burning the ships.
and I cried. I was at home crying, all kinds of stuff. I had my study stuff playing while I slept. I slept on my phone. Like, bro, I did all. I did everything you could think of, every little trick. And I was driving around. I had it in my car because I recorded myself. I was listening to stuff in my car,
crazy.
like trying to study.
Yeah,
And finally, on the last time, I passed like flying colors on the 3rd try. But
Yep.
but yeah, that was
You was
like.
fully engulfed. Like you,
But I
you
didn't have a
submerged
choice. I was like,
yourself.
this is all I got. If I don't pass this, I'm going back and I'm gonna move back into my mobile home and just stay there, I guess, forever. But anyways, that's kind of a similar story. It's something you just got to keep going.
Yes, sir.
We got another comment on our Facebook here from Heath White again.
Shout out Heath, man.
How do each of you ensure personal growth alongside your business growth?
You go ahead, Mac.
That's a good question.
All right.
Yeah, that's those
Yeah,
are-
Deep
that's
stuff.
good. That's good. I'm glad you're going deep because I can get deep, brother. I can get deep. Pause. So what I do is, obviously, I'm a preacher's kid, so I will go to the Bible first, and I'll try to read the Bible, and I'll try to figure out what's going on because I'm over here probably stressed out. But when you really understand that this life is more spiritual than it is physical, then you understand oh, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around. So if you work on yourself and build yourself up in the morning, your mental, your your spirit. You're trying to like charge yourself up. You know, listen to something motivational, listen to something positive.
Yep.
Now you're able to attack whatever challenges life has for you. But and that usually translates to business. Like you can't be depressed and have a great business.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody that's depressed literally has a great business. Like if you're stressed out all the time, usually your business is probably going to suffer. But if you're like charged up, which is most of us while we go to the gym,
Yeah.
that's one thing. So this is a shout out to Be Chosen.
Yeah.
If you are actually putting yourself in that frequency, like that high frequency, you're elevated, you're charged up, you pushing weight, you're confident, it literally translates to business. And then you attract that. So now you attract more confident, hardworking, successful people. And then you just keep, like we say, we help each other, and you just keep going up.
I think for me, it's obviously faith for sure. I mean, first and foremost, right? But if I think like just stuff like this, like surround myself with people who are like-minded individuals who want to be successful and who are doing better than me in life in all areas. Like I said on our podcast last time, but I try to listen to people who are successful, and I vision myself getting there.
Yep.
Like it might be a long road, and there's no shortcut to success. But if I know that I can wake up and I can work hard here where I work, Daniel's Roofing, but also work hard outside of here on myself and other things that I can do to make me successful, my term, successful. I think just working towards it is the start, but I think the gym's a great spot. I mean, it was my go-to when we were in college before finals or big tests. Like that's how I got into fitness, was stressed out all the time. I was like, man, I got to take this out somewhere. And I wasn't, okay, I partied in college, right? But I didn't want to go to alcohol drug route, right? So I was like, I'm going to go gym. And that was kind of my outlet, and it's stuck for years. But I think, first and foremost, spiritually, God, putting God first and doing that, but then praying all the time. But then just surround myself with people who are better and doing better.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. I think in order to have successful business, like you said, I started working out when I was in college too. I was super stressed, and that's kind of what led into the working out. I would go every day. So I made a commitment to myself. I was like, and I followed all these other individuals, that they're preaching, these successful people, and that's what they all have that in common.
Oh,
like, and maybe not all, but I would say probably 98% of the hyper successful people in the world, they're fit. Yeah. They take care of their mind. They take care of their body. And I'm a believer that you have to do those two things first, or you can't take care of your family.
Exactly.
You definitely can't take care of your business. So it's like you got to treat yourself. Pour into yourself first, and then you can pour into others.
Exactly.
Pour into your,
what's that saying? If the airplane's going down, you got to put your mask on first before you help other people.
Can't save other people. You can't save yourself.
You can't. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So
we got another one.
All right.
From Taylor Johnson.
Shout out Taylor.
How financially secure do you feel? Question mark. Or
that's a tough
do you think you need to feel before starting a business?
Ooh, that's a good one. Financially secure. Well, when you're securing yourself, you always have. We live in an abundant world. So if you're securing yourself, you always have finances. I'm a walking ATM machine, which you have to tell yourself. I am a walking ATM machine. I can do whatever it takes to get money if I need it. So if push comes to shove and you need $1 million to save your child from being murdered, you will figure it out.
You're gonna find it.
You're gonna figure it out.
It's funny. I heard her saying the other day. It's and I think I was talking to Lava. Everybody knows. Well, we know Lava. So and it was we were talking, and I was like, man, how'd you afford those cars, which we know his story, but it was like, go buy the car and then figure out how to make more money. Because when you buy that car,
I'm gonna tell my wife that. I'm gonna go get that car. I'll figure out how to pay for it later.
Well, it's when you buy that car, and I was reading this the other day. When you buy that car, it's gonna open you up to so many other avenues of people.
It's facts.
And groups that you're gonna be invited to, and then networking opportunities, and that's gonna lead you down one path. I'm not saying go buy the car. I'm just using this as an example. But I mean, I think that's a great way to look at it.
Put your back against the wall.
And I'd say as far as like touching on what Taylor's asking, when are you financially secure enough to start something? I don't know if that's necessarily the way to look at it. It would be more for me. It would be like, can I provide value to the people?
Exactly.
So if you're confident in your abilities, and I don't know what Taylor, what he's wanting to start, but and this goes for like honestly any industry, if you're like, hey, I have a gift. I can do X amount. I can get paid for this.
Exactly.
You can transfer that, and it turns into money.
Correct.
So it's like it really starts with yourself. Like, are you confident in yourself or not?
Yep.
And then you have to be willing to go all in.
Exactly.
Like the fear will always hold you back because it did me with certain things. And Well, I say that, but not really. I'm always been kind of. I say that, but I've always been the type that I've had that little thing in the back of my mind where I was like, oh man, what if kind of stuff. But I'm always more like, what if I don't do this?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I've always been more, heavier on that side.
Yep.
So I'm like, sometimes you have to take a little risk.
Yeah.
And then know that, hey, if I did that, I did it and I tried it. Give it your all. If it doesn't work out, you can, whatever you're doing now, they'll probably hire you again if
Exactly.
if you're good at what you do. They're going to take you back, or
Yep.
you can go to a different place and you'll probably be making more money there anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I've always
No,
looked
it's
at
facts.
it. So.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's some great points, actually.
So let's.
Yeah, I want to touch on,
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about backstory and stuff. We've been taking some questions. And shout out to everybody in the live, asking
Yeah.
questions. Oh, we love that.
Maybe we
Yes,
can
I
do a
love
Q&A
the
at the
interaction.
end.
Yeah.
Once we close, just like a short one.
Yeah,
So we can
yeah.
make it through the segment.
Yeah, so
But
I love it. I love all the questions. It's a little different, for a podcast. A lot of
Yeah.
people aren't going live, doing live questions at the same time.
Yeah, exactly,
But we
exactly.
love, this is for the community. So
Yeah.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about you have some new exciting stuff going on,
Yeah,
right?
man,
So
always.
you've been in barbering, and I followed your journey. You've been cutting my hair for a little bit, which I'm way overdue. I get busy.
we get busy.
I get busy and forget to go get my hair cut sometimes, and I appreciate you. J Mac will come to your house for the right price too.
Yep,
He's a hustler. He'll come to my
Yeah.
house at 7 o'clock at night and cut mine and my kids' hair. So obviously you got to pay for that. But
A
he's
lot
good
of people don't want to pay, so I'm like, I totally understand. Just
Yeah,
book
yeah.
an appointment then.
Sometimes it's about time. So if you get the right individuals and they're trying to save time, that's what it's about for me. I have a couple children, and it's like, hey, I got a service that I need, and I'm willing to pay a little extra sometimes to get it. So,
And I always appreciate it. And that's why I make sure I don't half step it. I don't half step it. I try to give them the blurriest fade that I could give that whole time.
Yeah. So you've been through a couple of barbershops over the years. I've been around for a couple of those, but I saw that journey, and now you're kind of. I know you opened up a shop at the top of the marquee. You had that for a little bit, but tell us about. You just moved on. So tell us a little bit about what you got going.
Yeah, man. So I just opened up Blessed Blades Barbershop 2.0. So this is actually a storefront, 425 Broadway, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, downtown, prime location.
Yes.
So that's very exciting. Obviously, we all know when you're like starting a new venture or starting a new job, like it's exciting a little bit, or it's like our excitement is like at the beginning.
Yeah.
And by the time everybody else sees it, it's like I'm already working. Like, forget the excitement. I got to make sure this like keeps going. I got to
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
rolling now. Like I built the boat, now I got to start rolling.
Yeah.
So it's been super exciting. I love the point that I've got to now where I'm expanded, and I've kind of like where I'm at now. From where I started, I would say, man, I made it.
Yeah.
But no, like I still got my dreams got bigger.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at it like, okay, this is the beginning.
Yeah.
But other people might be like, man, you got it. Like you got the big barber shop. You can get some more barbers in there, and man, you can make so much money. I'm like, about the money was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I already the money thing is money. I am a walking ATM machine.
Yeah.
Anything that we do, or if we believe in ourselves and we know the value that we have, we know money is going to come. So when you take the focus off money and put more of your focus on impact,
Impact
we
and
always talk
value,
about impact and value, then we don't focus on the money. The money's going to come. We're focused on the goals and the impact and things we're going to do in the future.
Services you can provide.
Exactly. So I'm not even thinking like, oh, these things are just going to come anyway. Go ahead, Isaac.
No, this is perfect what you're talking about because we just had another question pop in. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave with your
Oh my God.
That's why I had to slide it in there.
Man,
That's good.
it's all about legacy. All about legacy. So the one legacy I want to leave, one, inspiration, motivation, spirituality. I want God to be in the forefront and not just like, oh, just these guys or that's God. No, the God. The God that's in all of us. Forget what everybody is thinking in different religions. No, there is a spirit that wakes us up every single day.
Yeah.
That breathes life into us. That God is basically what I'm talking about. As long as you keep yourself with your temple, as long as you keep yourself going good, God is going to keep providing. Sorry, what was that question one more time?
Legacy do you
Okay,
hope to leave?
the legacy. So I wanted to leave that legacy of knowing that if you keep God in the forefront, everything else is going to be added to you. So with that being said, my legacy is going to be you could do anything you put your mind to.
Right.
But I'm going to show as much as I can.
Lead by example.
I'm going to lead by example where you don't have any excuse to be like, man, you can't do this. You can't do this. You're going to be like, man, J-Mac came from Homestown and did so much that if he could do billions, I know I could do hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And that's really all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to motivate people because I got family, I got anybody around me that I can just like say a big idea and everybody be like, huh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God. I'm like, you don't believe in that?
You know,
I'm
it's
like,
cr-
I can
your,
go
fa- your
way.
family might be the biggest doubters, though. They've
Sometimes,
been telling you
right?
not to do
Yeah.
it. Like, you know, I mean, I've been there, done that,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
So, but I think one thing we all have in common is we all have kids too.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
when your kids are looking at you every day and they're around it every day and they're like, man, my dad can do that, and you just want to set a good example for your kids and leave
Yeah.
them better than we were.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, and I think that's a great legacy too. Just
yeah.
you know, leave your kids.
Yeah. I want to be that
know.
great grandpa that people have like. I'm not saying a statue, like I don't want to be idolized, but I want to be remembered like, man, we would not have any of this if it wasn't for Grandpa James, like really
Yeah.
taking it to the next level and trying to learn.
Generational, yeah.
Yeah, because really I'm just trying to leave the legacy of information.
Yeah, I really align with that too. I think there's a lot of, you know, I don't know what the stat is exactly, but I think most of a good chunk of the millionaires in the world are self-made. You know,
Yep.
they weren't there. The generations before them didn't have that.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said about that, you know, too. And I love showing that to people because it's like, you know, I come from a small town too. You know, we come from a poor family, and you know, I have my own setbacks throughout life. You know, it hasn't been an easy journey at all. But it's, you know, it's if I can do it, literally anybody can.
Anybody can do it.
And it's interesting because I remember when I was like going through high school, I was like, man, if I could get this job and I can make $70,000 a year,
Yep. You
or
made it.
$80,000 a year, like I made it. You know, my parents were making $20,000 a year at the time. Like they worked their butts off, but that's, you know, they didn't
Yep.
have no money. So that's what I knew and I was exposed to. They weren't entrepreneurs. They didn't, you know, they knew how to work for other people and collect their paycheck and come home and, you know, do what they had to do.
Yep.
And I don't even know how I really learned. I think it's maybe I was born with it.
I think it's just within.
I think maybe I was born with the
I think you have
entrepreneurial spirit.
something more.
I don't really know. It's hard to like pin that down.
It's really hard to pinpoint it.
But what I can say is like I know that if I can make it and if I can be success, which there's more success to be had. Don't get
Exactly.
me wrong. Like, we got a long way to go. But if I can do it, like literally anybody can. So sometimes you got to look at yourself and say, hey, am I full of like excuses or am I full of ideas?
Exactly.
So that's like, you know, I really resonate, you know, with that. And the legacy part, I don't know what kind of legacy, you know, I want to leave personally. I just know that for my immediate family and those around me, I want to say, hey, this is possible.
Yep.
And, you know, you should always be striving to do more because there are people that have done it. So why can't I, you know, why can't I provide for my family like they are?
Yep.
You know, kind
There's
of
people
thing.
that done more with less.
Yeah, way
So
less.
sometimes I always try to make sure
Yeah.
nobody has any excuses to be like, well, well, this person was homeless. What do you have a house, a car? What's your excuse?
Yeah.
But sometimes people just want to have an excuse, and that's totally fine.
Hey,
I've learned that now. I'm like, okay, you just
Hey,
wanna have an
there were
excuse.
times where I was borderline, like, yeah, I could have been homeless myself. You know, there was times where I was like, I can't pay my bills right now. Like, what am I gonna do? You just gotta hustle and work harder and just keep your eye on be working towards something always. Like,
Yeah.
don't just sit back and expect other people to come save you because they're not coming.
They're not
You know,
coming, man. They're not
they're-
coming to save you.
They're not coming. So, like I said, people will help you on your journey, but you're gonna have other people that will doubt you as well. And you know, I even had some. You know, when I was getting into real estate, you know, my family was like, "That's not worth the time.
Yeah,
Like, don't
I
do
can
that.
only
Like that's crazy." Which it's still hard, you know, but there's way to find financial freedom through. You know, there's many avenues. You know, obviously, but you know, real estate and stuff like that, which I know you're involved in. You know. That's one of the ways to do it.
Yep. Shout out to Anthony. This is why I'm involved in it. On another level. But-
Yeah. But you know, back to you know, kind of like your shop. I know you're there. And, you know, you used to work with some other barbers. You were under someone else's kind of wing.
Yep.
I don't know if
Shout
that's-
out to Perfect Gentleman, man. Shout out Rick James. Shout out Pick the Barber, man. Shout out all my guys.
That was a beautiful shop.
Yeah.
So you were kind of working alongside other people, and you were in Rick's shop. I know. And then you kind of went on your own, and now you're getting a bigger space.
Yes.
Now, is your plan to stay kind of solo, or are you going to be bringing some other people along with you?
So basically, my plan right now is to be solo until the right people show up. So I've learned to attract and not to go out and seek.
Right.
So certain things I'll go out and look for, and that's usually the information,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not people. Because if you go looking for people, you know, what's the point? You're not in like the desperate type of field. But if I let people naturally come to me, now I get the pick of the litter. I can be like,
Right.
are you ready for this journey or not? And then if you say, yes, I am, I'm going to lay everything down. Like, hey, this is what I expect. And it's not going to be like, oh, this is a cakewalk. You can just walk in and start making $100,000 a year as a barber. Yeah. Nah, you're not about to do that. You're about to come in here and grind, and you could see your income start to grow as your clientele grows, as you grow as a person.
Right.
And that's the thing. Some people don't want to grow as a person, but they want their finances to grow. Mic drop.
No, that's very, very true. No, I completely align with that for sure. But, you know, I know, would you say that to find your success in business, is it like a mindset thing?
Absolutely.
Or is it like other outside factors that you think contribute to your business? Or is it just, does it all kind of start and stop with you?
It starts with mindset and definitely I think it starts and stops with you because you can build your business, but you can also tear it down. Oh, yeah. So if you have the right mindset, then that kind of puts you in the right path. Like your mindset is almost like the direction that you're going in life. Mm-hmm. If you have a bad mindset and you're only thinking about, man, I got these people, man, they give me so much money, I'm just taking it for the money. Instead of being like, I'm their barber. I'm very important in their life. They got weddings. They have funerals. They have birthday parties. They want to look good. They need to look good.
Yeah, you cut my hair for my wedding.
Exactly,
so,
man. Look, hey, man, them pictures is fire, fire.
Yeah.
But things like that, man. You just got to know you're more important than you might think. And sometimes that's people's problem. They think lowly of themselves, so they don't think they're that important. So you are more important than you probably think. So if you start with your mindset of being like, hey, I am this important, and I need to hold that standard.
Right.
That's where usually it comes. I think people don't want to be held to that standard. Like, I'm great, so I need to be consistently great and be held accountable.
Yeah, and show the people too.
Yeah,
You
yes,
know?
definitely.
Don't be afraid to put it out into the world.
Yeah,
Let
you
everybody
got
else
to.
know.
Yeah, I'm confident in myself. People already know that. You know, I had teachers that used to be like, "Oh, James think he's just so much." I'm like, I do, because if I don't, people will think I'm not.
Right.
So I have to show my value. I have to show you that I already believe in myself before you can believe in me.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-confidence is key.
It's so key.
People think that, like bodybuilding.
Yep.
So bodybuilding is like, everybody's like, oh man, he's so cocky. No, he's confident in himself because he's put in the work to get to where he needed to be. Right. And you can apply that in life.
Yeah. People don't see all the work behind the scenes. So it's like someone like yourself, you're showing all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important because, people see the end product. They don't see.
Yes, they don't see the whole thing.
So now they don't see the struggle, the early mornings, the late nights.
So that's why I invite them in. I invite them into I'm like, hey, look, I might not be able to record everything, but I'm gonna record me waking up at 4 a.m, and I might not record the whole workout, but I'll record me be chosen. I might not record the whole workout after that, but I'll show you me sweating after.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm gonna be playing my music, and then where you see me at next, McAllister's eating healthy. Yeah. Shout out McAllister's. I hope we got a sponsorship soon. Just saying.
McAllister's.
They know. Y'all know.
That's sweet tea.
Tag them. I ain't even going to spill the secret about the sweet tea, but yeah, just know.
Yeah.
I know the secret.
Yeah.
So now it's blackmail. Now you better sponsor me.
So say someone wants to follow your footsteps, maybe in barbering or real estate. Mm-hmm. How could they get started in the industry? What would you recommend?
I would recommend reaching out to me, and not even reaching out. Come pull up at the barbershop. I ain't hard to find.
Yeah.
I'm not hard to find. You pull up at the barbershop. Matter of fact, don't even do that. Come get a haircut.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit down in the chair, get a haircut, get the experience, look good, and get all this information. So my barbershop is more than a barbershop. I don't just have people sitting in there, we're just listening to music, talking about LeBron James and Jordan. Not doing that. We're talking about success, how to get to success, failures, how to overcome failures, the future, plans, AI, everything.
Hey, some conversations get deep too.
I definitely get deep
on a personal level.
Yeah, on a personal level, it does.
Yeah,
for sure. So
life is deep, man.
Isn't that weird how you feel like you can always open up to? My mom was always like, "Man, I can open up my
hairstylist?
hairdresser," and I'm like, I feel the same.
But that's how serious it is, man. I actually took it serious, and I pray every day before I even cut hair. I used to pray and say, like, I tell God, like, please bless me to be able to help these people that I'm touching. I'm touching their head. I'm in their ear. I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
Like, please help me say the right things for these people to help them transform their lives.
Yeah, the barbershop's a weird place. You sit down and you feel safe. It's like a safe.
It's like a safe.
You got all like-minded men around you. Everybody's in there trying to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody has different paths and stuff that they're trying to do.
You fall asleep.
Fall asleep.
You sit there and you feel like you can really open up. So you're like a therapist almost.
I am a therapist. Shout out, and we can talk on that soon, whatever. But I do have a degree in psychology and a minor in early childhood development from Southeast Missouri University.
Go.
Shout out. And all the alumni from Southeast Missouri and the psych. And shout out to all the psych.
We all three alumni from SEMO.
Yeah.
What?
We all three, yeah. I graduated from SEMO.
All right, SEMO. We're looking for a sponsorship as well.
Yeah, let's go.
I ain't playing around. I'm not playing around this year. I'm letting you guys know. I'm looking for all sponsorships because I know my impact.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm trying to help you guys impact as well.
Yeah, and I know you've said before, you always try to look to the you don't look behind you, look to the future. I don't know if you said that on here, but I've heard you say it before.
Yeah, always. I never look back.
You look to the future. So what kind of goals or dreams do you see for yourself? I know you said a lot of stuff.
I got a big goal. I'm gonna just go straight to the big goal. I want to be one of the early pioneers to build a skyscraper in Cape Girardeau.
Dang, let's
I switched up from barbering. You gonna be at the penthouse cutting hair or what?
I will see, man. You never know.
Hey, that would be pretty cool.
At
That'd be cool.
at that point, I might not be just cutting hair, and I might just be,
Have a whole school.
Yeah.
so many things. So that's like my biggest like crazy goal.
Hey, shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the stars. And literally, I mean, the skyscraper's up there. So
I don't think too. I think you can believe if any, no goes too big because
Exactly.
you can believe it and you can go get it.
and it might not happen this year. It might be 10 years from now. It might be 15 years from now. But
Go get it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a big goal.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like to shock people when I throw that big goal out there. And I got
No,
other
yeah, I
big
didn't
goals,
expect
but
that whatsoever,
Yeah,
so.
skyscraper is definitely one because I'm like, it's because of the knowledge. I heard about how somebody built the skyscraper, what they did, and I'm like, okay. And I look, and I was in the market.
Yeah.
So I'm in there absorbing. I'm like, well, this is technically a skyscraper, and it got financing, and you start, creative financing, getting talk to the banks,
Yeah. That's awesome. We all have big dreams, and obviously you're doing all the day-to-day stuff.
Exactly.
You don't just you got to shoot for the big dreams, but then you're like, okay, where's my plan to
Where's
get
my
there?
plan? I got a little.
So it's all the little wins that adds up to owning Daniel's Roofing, and I potentially we want to franchise one day, so I want to have locations all over all over the U.S.
Exactly.
So that's kind of our big end goal almost, and maybe we'll do other stuff too, but. But we're just doing the little stuff every day.
Okay.
All the stuff inside of our company, and then hopefully one day we can start pouring into others and allowing our business to grow as
Which
well.
it will.
So-
We spoke it already into existence.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
out there in the
we
atmosphere,
see
it's gonna happen.
We see it, but sometimes you gotta have some patience.
Yeah,
and
you gotta
get
have
there.
patience.
So I know it's just kind of like just to wrap things up. Obviously you're an entrepreneur, so if someone's out there, like Taylor, for instance, came in with a question about starting a business. If someone's out there feeling stuck, they're unsure how to start, and I know we've kind of already answered it, but what's the one piece, like the one key nugget that you would give them? How do you go about just getting started?
Look up YouTube. Now that's one thing. I have a PhD in YouTube University.
Yeah.
I learned how to cut hair on YouTube. I learned real estate on YouTube. I learned eating healthy on YouTube. I learned a lot. And I've been on YouTube probably since 2013, like just studying so much. Like that's when it actually got, Wi-Fi actually became prevalent back 2013.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely study your craft, honor your craft, and believe. I'd probably just say believe. You got to believe that it can happen. If somebody else is doing it, you can do it. You just got to figure out how you're going to do it.
There's so much free knowledge out there.
Yeah, it's too much.
Bro, I was reading books, like when I got into real estate stuff, I got down to the studs and rebuild it. I didn't know nothing about building. But I watch YouTube and some of it's some common sense too, and just wanting to learn.
Yep.
You gotta want to learn.
You gotta want to learn.
That's the thing. So you can I think we're all blessed with being able to we're able to take in a lot of knowledge, and then you gotta be able to apply it obviously.
Yes.
But you gotta want to learn. You gotta just kind of chase after it. Don't be afraid to fail, like we've said.
Don't be afraid to fail. At all.
And then to wrap stuff up, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yep.
But for the people at home, especially anybody thinking about entrepreneurship or getting into barbering, or maybe they just want to get their hair cut by you, how can they contact you? Like, what are the platforms they can get to you on?
Okay. So one is a complete huge honor to be on here. I take nothing lightly. If I get invited to a birthday party, I'm happy. I'm like, bro, you actually genuinely want me to be there.
Yeah.
I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. So I'm super, super honored to be here. What was that next question you just saying?
Where can we find you?
Where
can
you find me?
at?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't hard to find. You can find me anywhere. Facebook, James Macklin. Instagram, the Real Estate _Barber. TikTok, the Real Estate _Barber. YouTube, the Real Estate Barber. I'm gonna start dumping more stuff on YouTube and just like going backwards. Because I can talk a lot. I got a lot of information. I got a lot of knowledge on too many like too many topics. Exactly. I guess it's never too many, but I like to relate everything, especially from the streets and the corporate world. I love I can bridge that gap. That's why I can't wait, because I actually was really out there. I ain't never got shot. I ain't never got shot at. None of that extra crazy stuff. But I was out there with the wolves, and then I got into corporate, and there's some bigger wolves. Don't get it twisted. Do not think you get in the corporate. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go here and make millions of dollars. You're stepping on toes. You start making millions of dollars. You're gonna figure out real quick. Okay, now they're
Oh yeah, we've had people come after come after us. You know, in the roofing space. We have our competitors attack us, and
I know, y'all
we
doing
got
it
to deal with
big.
the city. we
Yeah,
got all these, all along the way. There's like these little roadblocks.
And that's what I learned about entrepreneurship. You will always have hurdles. They're gonna make so many hurdles for you because they don't want it's the barrier of entry. They don't want you to just jump in there and you think everybody's gonna allow everybody to just make millions of dollars easy. No, it's hard. So they're gonna literally make it even harder. So if you're trying to start a business, it's like, okay, you gotta get this permit and you gotta pay this. And every step you gotta do, you have to spend money.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God, I gotta spend money every time. Yeah, it might be $30, $40, but it's gonna add up after the 6th permit and you get this license and then you gotta and then it's it's time. So it takes a lot, man. It ain't easy, but it's possible.
Yeah. I think that's the key takeaway. I think for this podcast is success is possible for everyone, but it ain't free.
It ain't,
man,
it ain't free.
But it's not just about the money, it's time too.
It's time,
so
man.
It takes money and it takes time.
It takes money, time, energy, your spirit. It takes everything out of you.
Yep. All right, so everybody, we'll kind of close out here. I appreciate everybody hopping on the live. Huge shout out to J Mac for coming on.
Thank you.
Shout
Real
out to
Estate
y'all,
Barber.
man.
Thank you for coming.
Check him out on Facebook, like he said. Also, like and subscribe our
Yes.
our YouTube channel.
Okay, I'm on there now.
We just got the thing going, so if you're not following J Mac, you better get on.
Oh, I'm about to subscribe, comment. I'm in there.
Yeah, and Grant, you want to tell them who our next? Let's shout out our next guest we got coming on next week.
Yep.
He done forgot our next guest.
I did.
Oh my gosh, we were talking about
The sheet wasn't laying here. Where's the sheet?
No, we got. I think it's out there. We got James Faught. He was with
Yeah.
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Faught, yeah.
James Faught. Shout
Yeah,
out James
so,
Faught,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, J
Yeah.
Mac knows James Faught.
Yeah.
I've actually known James. Oh man, he used to do like filming hunts. Like
Yeah.
so, like I'm big into hunting. So like,
Oh.
I met him years ago filming hunts, and so great with cameras, technology.
Yeah, great guy. And he owns
good dude.
Midwest Kayak
Yep.
downtown. So
Yep.
he's going to be coming on talking a little bit about himself, his journey, more business stuff. Everything we're going to do here is going to be guys like J Mac here who are getting into business because even though J Mac's not into roofing, we believe that it all kind of interconnects.
Definitely
all
does.
these. Regardless of what you want to do in life, all these different businesses and ideas, they all have similarities, and I think we all can learn from one another, and it's just an awesome thing. So, tune in next week. We'll go live next Thursday, and thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.